Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Aimee here. Today we're going to talk about my May wrap up. All the books that I read in the month of May. Not very many. I didn't have that great of a month. May was a little bit busy on the personal side of things. A lot going on. We celebrated my dad's 80th birthday. It was fun and busy. But I was still able to get in 9 books, whether I read them or I listened to them for the month of May. So let's get started. I started the month off with The Night Shift by Alex Finlay. I had to. I couldn't wait anymore. 90s nostalgia. I was here for it. I wanted this in my life. Now, I will say there's not much 90s nostalgia in this book. It's just this murder took place on New Year's Eve of 1999 at a Blockbuster. And that's pretty much all the nostalgia you're gonna get. But I still love the story. I was engaged. I didn't see anything coming. It was action-packed. I really loved it from start to finish. So yeah, like I said, 1999, New Year's Eve, Blockbuster, mass murder. Here we are 15 years later. Is it 15? I forget. Yes, 15 years later, we're following Ella. Once again, bad memory. Yes, her name was Ella. She was actually the only survivor from that night. So we're following her 15 years later. I put the book down so I could figure out what her name was. As another mass murder takes place in a local dairy shop. Ella is now a counselor and just doing her best to cope with what she experienced all those 15 years ago. And here we have another mass murder taking place, and once again there's only one survivor. We also follow a FBI agent, I believe her name's Agent Keller, badass female agent, but I'm pretty sure that's what our author was trying to make her out to be. Although she's 8 months pregnant. I don't know anything about being pregnant. I never was, but I'm just wondering, being 8 months pregnant and kicking ass at being an FBI agent, the things that she does in this book, I'm just like, 8 months pregnant? You can do that? I don't know. Like I said, I've never experienced it, but anyway, she's badass. I loved her, and I just loved how all the pieces came together towards the end. Like I said, I had no idea where this was going, and I haven't read a thriller in a long time where I didn't know at all what was going to happen. My mind usually goes to, this is what's probably happening. And I know I probably told y'all that before, but in here I had no clue how all the pieces fit together. Yeah, really, really great read. Like I said, action-packed. It was just from the beginning to the end. I loved every minute of it. I did listen to it on audio. The audio is fantastic. We have a cast of characters, so every one of our characters has a voice, which I absolutely love. So I highly recommend the audio if you like listening to your book, which in this case is a winner. Oh, I gave it 5 stars. Duh. Then I thought it was time to pick up Code Blue. This is the second book in the, Atlas series by N.R. Walker. This is Jeremy and Steve's story. Jeremy is part of Atlas, our beloved boy band, and Steve is Jeremy's bodyguard. Steve is gay, but he's not out. And then we have Jeremy, who is bi-curious, maybe? I'm not sure, because he's having these feelings for his bodyguard, and he doesn't understand them, and he doesn't know what to do with them. He's been having them for years. It's starting to get frustrating. So we have that story, and then we have the story of Steve has a little bit of a background himself. So we have Steve's story, and then we also have a threat that has been going on with Jeremy. Someone has threatened Jeremy is what I'm trying to say. I thought it was a good, like, sort of suspense addition to our love story between Jeremy and Steve. But I really enjoyed it. I loved the first book, Code Red. I loved this one as well. Probably not as much as the first one. I still gave it 5 stars. I still love their story. Yeah, they both have issues on both their sides, and I just, during this time of Steve trying to protect Jeremy it was fun to read how they grow closer and how their feelings for each other really starts to intensify, and Jeremy like coming into his feelings and doing something about them. I loved it. Then I picked up the third book in the extracurricular activities series by Nev Wilder. This is Show Me. I have had so much fun with this series. These guys they're just fun, like just college boys doing their thing, having fun, discovering different things about themselves and how they feel about it. So much fun. So in this one, we follow Sam and Jesse. We meet these characters we meet Jesse pretty much in the first book, I'm pretty sure. He's also in the second book, but we don't meet Sam, I don't think, till the second book, if I'm thinking correctly. But Sam is your typical jock. He's very muscular, he's a football player, but he's very smart, and he just has this kind of happy-go-lucky attitude that he doesn't let anybody get to him. I love that about Sam. And then we have Jesse. Jesse is gay, openly gay, and he started his freshman year with a boyfriend. That didn't end very well, so he has vowed ever since then just to have fun and have all the sex he can have in college. So the story of Sam and Jesse have to do with an OnlyFans page. Sam has an OnlyFans page where he does these things on camera. He doesn't show his face, so nobody knows who he is, but he gets paid for this, and he does it just at these random moments. It's really hilarious. Somehow, if you read the story, you'll find out that Jesse figures out Sam's little secret. Long story short, Jesse becomes Sam's cameraman. So, OnlyFans page, Sam doing his thing, Jesse behind the camera. Yeah, fill in the blanks. It was a lot of fun. Jesse is adorable. I love Sam and his just happy-go-lucky attitude, and like, I'll try anything. I'm not afraid to be who I am. I love these two guys together. As they become closer, they become like friends, and then maybe a little bit more. It was just a fun story. I know I keep saying fun, but it was a good time. Okay, y'all don't come for me for this book. This is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This is about a woman. She marries a Mr. De Winters, yes. He was married before. His wife was Rebecca. She, of course, has passed. He brings his new wife home to his manor, which has a name, Manderley. So this is the new Mrs. De Winters telling her story about her time at Manderley and how everywhere in the house is just the ghostly presence of Rebecca. So really, to me, this was just a long, drawn out story of how she met De Winters. I forget his first name. Maxim De Winters, from the time they met all the way to the end, as to what happened with Rebecca and who Maxim really is and who Rebecca really was. So it was, I will say, towards the end, I started to get more into our story. There was a twist that I didn't see coming, but then to me the book just kind of ended, and I was like, wait, what happened? Like, I didn't understand it. I had to go and like watch spoiler videos, read spoiler reviews. I need to watch the Netflix show because I love Armie Hammer, but yeah, I just didn't get it. I also had a very hard time following the writing style. I'm not a classic reader just because of the writing style. Nothing against it. I know it's beautiful in its own way. This book is a beautiful and a masterpiece of a story for when it was written, but I just don't enjoy the writing style of these classics. But that's just me. Anyway, I gave it 2 stars, but like I said, I don't feel like it's fair to the story, because like I said, you can tell it was very well written and very beautifully written for its time. But yeah, I personally had a hard time following it, and that's just on me. I'm not smart enough, obviously, to enjoy this book. But yeah, I do want to watch the Netflix show. Let me know in the comments if you've watched the Netflix show and if you've liked it. Now this, on the other hand, why did I wait so long to read this book? This is The New Husband by DJ Palmer. I really wasn't expecting to like this book as much as I did. So we follow Nina and her daughter Maggie. Nina's husband Glenn went missing like a year or so, almost like 2 years ago, when he went out to go fishing. His body was never found. He had the dog with him, and the dog came back and Glenn did not. So for these 2 years, Nina has just been wondering, like, did he just like up and leave us, or is he dead? Like, she just does not know what to do, does not really know how to go on with her life, even though she has met a new someone. So Nina is now in a new relationship with this guy named Simon. And Simon seems like a great guy. He just wants to take care of Nina, take care of her kids. Nina has a daughter named Maggie and a son named Connor. Like I said, we hear from Maggie a good bit in the story. Maggie doesn't trust Simon, but Connor seems to be doing well with Simon being around. But there's something about Simon that Maggie just does not like. And I think Nina is on the fence about Simon as well. Like, why is he so perfect, kind of thing. Plus, she's still wondering what happened to her husband. It was just a great read. I had a good time. It was more of a family drama with some suspense in there, rather than a thriller, in my opinion. But it was still really good. I enjoyed the story. Like I didn't really know what could have happened to Glenn. It was just a very thought out story. It was just told very well. I couldn't stop listening. I did listen to the audio. The audio is fantastic. Highly recommend the audio if you have not read The New Husband yet. I really enjoyed it, and I was so surprised that I did, because it has been sitting on my TBR shelf forever. Why do I do that? Like, there's so many books probably that I have not picked up yet, but I love when I find a good gem. Then I finally, after a long time, don't know why I waited so long to pick up this book. Once again, this is The Jock by Tal Bear. So many feelings in this book, so many feelings. I gave it 5 stars because it just made me feel all the things. I loved these 2 characters. I wanted nothing but for them to find their way. I was so sad at times. It was so many things happening in this book. The only thing I didn't really like was the very beginning. I felt like it was too quick of a hookup, I guess, or it was too insta-lovey, I guess. I felt like they just jumped into I love yous rather than insta-lust kind of thing. I can totally get like insta-lust, I can totally get that, but like from the very beginning that they meet, it was almost like they loved each other, and I just felt like it all happened too fast. Anyway, I'm jumping ahead, but so we have Wes Van de Hoek, and we also follow Justin Swanscott. Justin is gay, and he is out. His parents seem to be okay with it, but you learn a little bit more about that later on in the book. He's not hiding anything, but now Wes is very much a closeted gay man, and he struggles, poor heart, with his feelings and not destroying what he has built for himself, which is horrible, because no one should feel like they can't love another person because of, yeah, I could go on and on. Y'all just don't want to get me started. Anyway, poor Wes. Wes is a football player. He is a jock. He is a huge, tall cowboy, good at heart. You can tell he just has the biggest heart. He falls in love with Justin right away, and he doesn't plan on it. That was the thing. So he gets a scholarship to go to school through football. If that's ruined, he gets nothing. His scholarship goes away. He will not be able to get his college degree if he loses his scholarship due to the fact that he loves another man and could get kicked off the team. So it's, like I said, it was so emotional. Like, just you could feel Wes's just grief, but his love for football, and just the hurt that Justin feels. You know, he also cannot love the man he loves because people are ignorant. So yeah, I like I said, I could go off on a rant, but I'm not. I don't want this to be a totally long video about this topic that we are celebrating in the month of June. It was also just a beautiful story. I love emotional reads. I mean, I don't like that this happens, but it's real. You know, it does happen, and I just but anyway, it was a great story. Thank you to those who have recommended me this read. I will definitely be jumping into The Quarterback, which is the second book in I guess this maybe 2-part story. I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be between. Okay, no, I'm not going to give it away, because that would give away something about the first book, and you have to read this book. It's beautiful. It's emotional. You'll cry. You'll get angry. It's anyway. Okay, moving on. This is The Damage by Caitlin Ware. Absolutely love this book. This is like another gem that was sitting on my shelf that I'm just now picking up. I did give it 4 stars. This was such a complex and intense story. It does involve sexual assault and rape. So if that's a trigger topic for you, this may not be the book for you. That's a trigger topic for me. I don't like reading about sexual assault or rape or have any of those scenes in a book. I'm okay if it's just there. Like I've said before in some other books, it's there. Same as in this one. It's not graphically told, so I was able to get through it. The story is told through our victim, so we're getting his version of what happened to him. And the author did a great job, like putting it out there, and it was well told. So like I said, we have a victim. We have Nick Hall is our victim. He was sexually assaulted and raped by another man. We have Tony Hall, who is Nick's brother and is just very outraged at what has happened to Nick. And then we have Julia Hall, which is Tony's wife, who was an ex-lawyer. So she's sort of helping Nick along the way with his case, you know, like just what he should do, what he should say, kind of thing, and just helping him take those steps forward. It's very hard for Nick to talk about, which, I mean. And then we also have John Rice, who is a detective that was on the case. We also have timelines in this book. At the very beginning, Julia visits John Rice at his home. And so we go back and forth from the time of Nick's assault to ending of present time, and why why Julia is visiting John Rice at his home. There really wasn't nothing thrilling or suspenseful about this read, I mean, you find out right away in the beginning, like, you know, who was the assailant, you know, who did this to Nick. So it's just the story of what happened and what Nick is having to go through, what Tony is going through for Nick. All he wants to do is just help Nick, but in ways he's only hurting Nick. And Julia's just trying to do her part. And then of course the detective is doing, you know, his job as well. So it's basically just the story of their lives and how it affected their lives. Great story though. I really enjoyed this read from start to finish. I did listen to it on audio. Great narration as well. We only get one narrator, but she did a fantastic job going back and forth between voices. You really knew who was speaking. It was fantastic. Loved it. Then back to Male Male Romances, I picked up Love Always Wild. This is the first book in the For Him series by A.M. Johnson. Really enjoyed the story. I gave it 4 stars. Our book starts off with our 2 characters, Jax and Wild. When they were in college, Wild is an openly gay man. Jax has always been in the closet. Things happen, they are separated. Like, Wild never sees Jax again. For some reason he doesn't understand. And he, of course, he has like this rage about, you know, why he was just completely dropped by Jax. And of course Jax has his own story and why he has never been able to come out as a gay man. He lives a lie. He's dating a woman, and it, once again, just a beautiful story. Just angers me that is not seen as normal. What is normal? That, I mean, I'm struggling here, y'all. So I want to say so much. I just don't understand why some people have an issue with who you love. What does it matter? What are you doing to that particular person? Nothing. Do you even know that particular person? No. So why does it matter? I just don't understand. Anyway. But that's the kind of story we have with Love Always Wild. But of course we get a happily ever after. But it was definitely a heartfelt read. Getting our characters to that point. So I definitely want to move on to the second one and see what happens with our characters. Do we get different characters? I don't know. I didn't read into the second one, but I definitely will be checking it out. And then lastly, for the month of May, I picked up We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. Okay, this book, I was like completely bored the entire time. But let me explain first. So we follow only one character. What is her name? We follow Cadence. She is a Sinclair. Sinclairs are like supposed to be this, you know, just well-bred family. So she's telling us her story of like about her and her cousins growing up and something that happened, but I never really understood why they called themselves liars. Never really understood that. Maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention because I was just bored out my mind for the majority of this book, but I wanted to know like what happened, because somewhere along the way Cadence has this accident that makes her lose her memory, and she loses touch with her cousins. She has to go away to like this hospital, a certain school, I think. I don't remember. Like I said, it's blurry because I wasn't into it But she kept trying to get in touch with her cousins and no one was answering her. Finally, they go back to their summer home, Cuddleton, something like that. And all the cousins are there, and I don't even know. It was very boring, but like at the very end, like not even an hour left to the audio. I did listen to the audio version of this because I don't see how I would have made it through without the audio, which was very, very good. Narrator was very good. But yeah, it was like less than an hour left, I believe. We find out what happened. And I was like, like my mouth dropped. Like out of the blue. Like I'm not paying attention. I'm just, you know, listening and doing laundry or whatever, not really, kind of like thinking of other things I got to do in one part of my brain and then listening to the book in my other part of my brain, which means I'm not into a book. And then all of a sudden I connect with the story at some point and you get a slap in the face. So I was totally blown away by the ending. Like I even cried. So I had to at least give this book a 3-star because it was definitely well written and well told. But for the majority of the book, I was just bored out of my mind. But anyway, like I said, I had to find out what happened. Like it was never said what happened to Cadence. But yeah, wow. Oh. I don't know if I want to read the prequel or not. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on We Were Liars. Are you going to read the prequel? Let me know. Okay, y'all, I know that was probably a mess of a wrap up just because my feelings get in the way when they're heightened like that. Those two male romances I read, The Jock and Love Always Wild, really got to me, really got under my skin. So sometimes you just gotta rant about it. Anyway, that was my month of May. Not a lot of books read, like I said, like 9 total, but hey, that's okay. As always, thank y'all so much for watching. I hope y'all are having a great Pride Month. Happy Pride. Hope you're all doing well out there. Hugs from me all around. Remember, love over all. Love over all. I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all.